YouTube? It's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, back with another synthesizer tutorial. Again, with my absolutely favorite synthesizer, the Kawai K1. And as you can see right down there, I'm using the Kawai K1M, the module version. And this is something, well, okay, let me just go back a little bit, start over here. If you go way, way back in my old videos, I think maybe 2014 or somewhere around there, there's a video of me doing how to transfer synthesizer patches, SysX files, for the Kawai K1 to the K1 with your computer and a Midi cable using a program called Midi. Now, Midi is a really good program, and this is something you can totally do, and that tutorial still works, and I still use that technique to this day. However, I recently discovered, well, a couple of things, but one, there is actually a much simpler way to transfer files to the K1 if you have a certain type of file. And number two, Kawai actually has a lot of stuff still on their website about the Kawai K1, which is actually pretty darn amazing considering the K1 is from the 1980s. So that's really cool of Kawai for doing this or keeping this stuff available. And I'll post all the links for all this stuff down in the description. But first off, what I want to show you guys is if we go to the Kawai website, kawaius.com, in the technical support section, there's some software downloads. And if we scroll down here to K1, we can see that we have several files here. There's K1 libraries.pdf, K1.zip, K1 multis.rtf, and K1 smf.zip. Now, at first when I saw this, I thought it was just the default library that came with the K1. And, you know, which is cool. I'm glad that that exists, but that's not what it is. Actually, it's much cooler than that. If we look at the libraries here, the PDF that you can download, let me just resize this a bit, we can see all of what is included in this download. And so basically all of these different cards are included. So we have the A200 card, the J103 card, the A101, A102, J101, all this stuff. So and not only do we have all these downloads, there's also a description for each one of these libraries as to what kind of stuff they contain, as well as you can see all the actual patches here. And let me go down here. So here, you can see, wait, scroll down a little bit. Right here. E101 is world-class European slant, or world-class sound. I skipped like 5 words there. World-class sound with a European slant, Celtic harp, accordion, blah, blah, blah. And then here, J101, trains, planes, and guns, great for natural percussion. J102, Effect City, includes Japanese swords, seagulls, pistols, plus great OB brass, which means Oberheim brass. So there's a lot of stuff like this, a lot of really, really cool things. Okay, so you could download the SysX files, and transfer them to your K1 using the Midiox method, which I showed you before. However, you don't even need to use Midiox because they include a SysX, a Windows-based SysX program that works very similarly to Midiox to do that stuff with. And you could go ahead and transfer the SysX files to your K1 using the Midiox method, like I showed you before. As well as in this download, there is a SysX, Windows-based SysX program that's actually quite simple to use, and you could use that too. But I'm not going to go over that one in this tutorial because I wanted to show you something called SMF files. And SMF just stands for Standard MIDI Files. And I actually had no idea that you could transfer transfer data to the Kawai K1 this way. And so basically, you can load patches using just regular old MIDI files. They don't have to be SysX files. So you could use any program, any MIDI program. In this situation, I'm going to be using, or this example rather, I'm going to be using Rose Garden, which is a great MIDI sequencer for Linux, as well as I believe it runs on Windows too, but the Linux version's a little better and original. But anyway. So in order to do this, all you have to do, well, first off, let's go into my connections. We'll go to Manage MIDI Devices. And then I just want to make sure I'm connected to my K1, which is on my UMC 404 right here. So I can just leave this general MIDI device. All these other ones are my Q synth right here, which I don't really need for this tutorial, but I just have it open anyway for some reason. So let's go back to this. Okay, so I selected my MIDI output to the K1, close that, and then we can download, you know, this file right here, this k1.smf, which I already did, and I unzipped it to my downloads directory, which I can show you right here. And so we see all of these .mid files. We have the k1.mid, k1 a100.mid, 101, 102, and so on and so forth. So all of these basically are just all of those patch banks that we were reading before in standard MIDI format. Now, first off, before you do this, you're going to want to make sure you have a couple of settings set on your K1. Like, go in here, we're going to press System and make sure that we are on, first go to Receive. So press the plus sign to go to Receive. System again. Receive channel is set to number 1. Omni, you can have on. Normal, receive pressure, that doesn't really matter. None of these really matter. And then exclusive, make sure that that is on as well. And then once you get through all of that, let's get out of here. And let's just go back to my first patch there. Okay, so once you make sure you have all of your settings on your K1 set, just go into whatever MIDI program you're using and just open up one of these MIDI files. I'm just going to go in here to Import MIDI. I don't need to save this. Then let me go to my Downloads folder, and I'm going to load A104 because I really like this one. So just go to Open. Okay. And we're going to rewind back to the beginning. K1 is ready to go, and all I have to do, if it's connected with the MIDI cable, which it is, I have standard MIDI cables going from the in and out on the K1 into my audio interface. I just press play here. I'm not going to hear anything. Okay, so I did that a little bit out of order. I want to make sure. Let's go back and manage MIDI devices. First, load the file, then select your MIDI device if you're using Rose Garden. Let's go ahead and do this again. Close that. Okay, rewind. Now if I press play, we should see right here a little cursor start to flash to tell us that the K1 is reading the incoming MIDI. And there it goes. We see it. Okay, take note of the patch that we have there. IA1 is AW, is the name of that patch. Now if I switch patches and then come back, we can see that that is now Starchoir. So it loaded that bank just by playing this MIDI file, which is really, really awesome. It's super easy to work this way. I mean, the other way is easy too, but if you don't have MIDI aux, you don't feel like messing with MIDI aux or anything like that, this is a way that you can load a ton of patches on your K1 just by using standard MIDI files. We go back here and we just look just to make sure and look at A104. We can see that it did indeed load. We have Space Ninja there, which is 8. We go to the B. We have MKS Piano 2. And just play a little bit of this. You guys should hear that, I think. If you don't hear it, that's okay. But yeah, so really easy to do and really cool. And just take a look at all these patches you can get, which is really nice. Now, of course, if you buy patches off of eBay or something like that, then they probably will come in standard SysX files. So in that situation, just use my old tutorial on how to transfer SysX files to the K1, and you should be good to go with those. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention here, too, that I found recently, is this company called Voice Crystal, and I'm not endorsed by these guys in any way. I haven't even talked to them. But this company, Voice Crystal, actually sells blank Kawai RAM cards, which is really cool because I don't currently have one of those. So I'll probably pick up one of these here eventually. I used to have one, but I don't have it anymore. But the DC-8 for $84, which isn't too bad for a new card. You can luck out sometimes and find them on eBay for about $50, $40 to $50, but they're very rare. You don't run into them very often. So here you can get one that's brand new and blank, never been used, and just be able to transfer all the stuff on it. I really wish somebody would come up with a way to, some type of card reader for these things. That would be really cool. So we wouldn't have to buy these old cards, just like a, like something you plug in there. I could just plug in a standard SD card or something like that, or a flash, compact flash or something like that. But anyway, they don't yet. But anyway, that's all for this tutorial. And I just thought it was really cool. Hopefully you guys, UK1 users out there, enjoy it and are able to use this. You should be able to use any program, really, like Cubase or Pro Tools or anything that will load MIDI files. And you can send MIDI out through a hardware MIDI port. It should work. You could do this with anything. So that's one of the things that's really nice about it. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you want to show your support, you can always either go to my Patreon page and support me there, or check out anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com, or any of the links I post anywhere. You can always click on one of those, and all that stuff helps me out. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.